What's going on, everybody? My name is Zach and I live in northern Wisconsin, Cheeseland. And today we're going to go car spotting up here to show you guys that cool cars do exist in small towns. We're going to be driving my 1999 Toyota Crown. It's right-hand drive from Japan. I'll show you here, There's a steering wheel on the right-hand side here. I had this car for less than a year. Bought it with 70,000 miles on it down in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Coming up on a year in June. So this car has been great. I daily drive it. It's my car to work, car to run errands, and today it's my car to go car spotting. So let's go car spotting in Ironwood, Michigan and Hurley, Wisconsin. This is the inside of the Toyota Crown here. Everything is in kilometers. Let's fold the mirrors out here. I do have my iced coffee ready. I busted this piece while trying to switch out the radio a couple months ago. I ordered a new piece from Japan. It's here, I just have to put it in. So that's been driving me crazy for a really long time. Of course, this is a JDM car, so it does beep when you put it in reverse. So let's back out of the garage here and try not to hit anything. Okay, and we are off to try and find some cool cars in a small town. Let's go see what we can come across and find today. So people do, and they will look at you driving this car. But I've noticed it really only gets attention from people that know what it is and know that it's special, because to the average Joe, it's a Toyota Camry, it's a Toyota Avalon. So that's been kind of fun. So cool cars do exist here. Believe it or not, a couple weeks ago I was driving to work and I saw a JDM Mitsubishi Legnum, which is a Japanese version of the Galant wagon. I don't think they ever had a Galant wagon here in the States, but that was really cool. And then there's a guy up here that has a JDM Mitsubishi Delica. So that's really cool too. And I've seen other stuff up here, Cybertrucks and stuff. So stuff does exist, it's just really hard to come by. The Chrysler 300 was always cool. I've always loved how that car looked. Just the reliability was questionable. We got a Ford C-Max right there. That is interesting. Not many people bought those. And then looks like a base model F-150. We are downtown Ironwood right now. There's a new Nissan Rogue. Nissan's attempt to save itself from, doing Nissan things. Here's something interesting, a Honda Accord Cross Tour. I always thought these were really cool. Yes, they are a little bit ugly, but people bought them. They're around, I see them around. It's just kind of a beefed up Honda Accord. Before I had this car, the Crown, I had a Volvo XC90. There goes that C-Max. XC90 was great up here. This car is rear wheel drive, so it's a little questionable and sketchy in the winter months, but it works. I put snow tires on it. Chevy Venture, there's a Chevy Venture van. You don't see those around anymore. And then right over there, we got a Kia Soul. Fun fact, I have owned 2 Nissan Cubes. The Kia Soul was always kind of the competitor to the Nissan Cube. Obviously the Kia Soul did way better. Dodge Caliber, remember they put a SRT8? There was an SRT8 version of the Caliber. That was pretty crazy. And then here we got some old Mini Coopers. These Mini Coopers have been sitting here for a really long time. Not sure if they're just project cars that the guy hasn't gotten to yet, but yeah, there's some Mini Coopers for you. There's a Jeep Liberty. Remember when those were everywhere back in the day? And then they brought it back for a second generation. And there was a Dodge version, the Dodge Nitro. And those had horrible transmission problems. They were not reliable at all. And yeah, don't see too many of those anymore. I saw something interesting down here. Maybe you guys will find it interesting, I don't know. There's a Chevy Tracker. When was the last time you saw a Chevy Tracker? That thing doesn't look like it's in bad shape. Like, literally all of them are. And a Buick Rendezvous. Pontiac Aztek was built on that same platform as a Rendezvous. So down this alleyway, I saw, I believe it's one of the most rebadged vehicles. Oh, there's an ambulance. That's kind of cool. So the Chevy Uplander, Pontiac, what was it? Pontiac Montana. The Buick what was the Buick? So that's a Montana. What was the Buick version? And then the Saturn was the Saturn Relay. So there's 4 versions of that car. They all miserably failed. What was the Buick? Buick Terraza, that's it. So there was a Buick Terraza, Pontiac Montana, Chevy Uplander, and Saturn Relay. 4 versions of the same car that all failed. They were garbage. I think that is kind of an interesting thing about living in a small town is like it's kind of a lower income area and people just want their cars to run. Like if they break, they fix them. They don't go, you know, trade it in and buy a new car. So that's why you see stuff like a Montana or like a Rendezvous or a Tracker is because people just, they prefer to dump money into their vehicles than go get a new one. Like there's a Ford Freestar, the minivan, the Ford minivan. Again, another example of all of them died, like in the city. You're not going to go downtown, you know, Minneapolis or San Diego and see a Ford Freestar or even a Ford Windstar. I saw a first generation Ford Windstar the other day, and I saw 2 Ford Aerostars. When was the last time you saw a Ford Aerostar? I saw 2 of them in one day, and they were both green. So that just kind of gives you an idea of the area we live in here, is people just, they want to keep their old cars running. So we're gonna go to some parking lots just to see what we can find. Again, all of the interesting, quote unquote, it's all relative, like whatever's interesting to you. All of the interesting vehicles are going to be like a Pontiac Aztek or a, you know, an Oldsmobile Bravada. This isn't a wealthy area. People aren't buying Lamborghinis or, you know, McLarens up here. There's a Wagoneer. That was a $90,000, $100,000 SUV, a new Wagoneer. I actually went to the launch party for the Wagoneer back in the day. Cross Cabriolet. Okay, that was probably the most interesting car we've seen yet. I don't know if you guys saw it, but that was a Nissan Murano Cross Cabriolet. That's when Nissan took the Murano, made a 2-door version of it, and made it into a convertible for whatever reason. They did. It exists. The convertible top failed on literally all of them, but it is always special to see one because I think they're cool and I would love to own one day. It's actually on my list of cars I want to own. Okay, we have entered the parking lot of the shopping center. Oh, here's something interesting right off the bat. We have, is this a Grand Vitara? What is this? So it's a Suzuki, is that a Grand Vitara? I don't know. I don't want to be creepy and film people. I think that's a Grand Vitara. New Toyota Tundra. Nice. If I ever got a pickup truck, I would want a new Toyota Tundra. There's an old Ram. Let's see what we got. Ooh, okay. Okay, see, here we go. We got a PT Cruiser convertible. A whole 5 people bought those when they were first new. And then we got a Hyundai Tiburon right next to it. Hopefully I'm saying that right, Tiburon. There's another Suzuki Grand Vitara. See, this is what I mean, guys. This is literally what I mean. We got a Trailblazer. There's a Dodge Nitro. That's funny, I was just talking about the Dodge Nitro, and then we see one. And then look what we have here, a Ford Windstar. We have a Ford Windstar parked next to a blacked out Toyota FJ Cruiser with a snorkel. How great is that, guys? How great is that? We got a Ford Bronco Sport. Those were really popular when they came out. Looks pretty good in blue. What else do we got? Is this a Discovery? We got a Land Rover Discovery. Interesting how they put Discovery on the front and not Land Rover. Oh, we're gonna drive right into a snowbank. Let's not do that in the Toyota Crown. The Chevy Uplander backing out down there. See, what did I tell you guys? People love their cheap cars up here, and they just let them fall to pieces until the wheels fall off. There's an Infiniti. We got a Nissan Quest first gen, Tesla Model 3. I've always loved the first gen Nissan Quests. I wish they weren't so garbage. Otherwise I would have bought one of those. And if they made them in all-wheel drive. Tell me why it took so long for other minivans to offer all-wheel drive. We have a Toyota Sienna all-wheel drive as our other vehicle. And you can't find them in an Odyssey. You can't find them in the Quest back in the day. I think the Pacifica you can get all-wheel drive now, but that's a new offering from Chrysler. Okay, Walmart, don't disappoint me. Super One, the grocery store, did not disappoint. There is a Mercury Mariner. Drop a comment if you guys can name the other 2 versions of the Mercury Mariner. Sometimes it's literally just the same stuff over and over again, like Trailblazers, Uplanders, Ford Broncos, Dodge Caravans, Chrysler Town and Countries that are completely falling apart. I don't see anything interesting here. Okay, we got a yellow Toyota FJ Cruiser with a snorkel. There's an Eclipse Cross. Oh, here's the Ford Explorer Sport Track. That is cool to see. cool to see. So we have a Pontiac Torrent. Again, drop a comment if you can name the other version of the Torrent. Easy answer. There's two of them right over there. Okay, so the Walmart parking lot was kind of disappointing. There were a few things like that Sport Track that was cool. Nothing much. Let's get out of here. The only other interesting thing that I did see at Walmart was a Hyundai Veracruz. Not many of those were made. Not many people bought them. I believe that was during recession time, like 2008, 2009. And that's when Kia had the Borrego during that time as well. I don't know if they shared platforms. If anybody knows, let me know if the Hyundai Veracruz and the Kia Borrego shared a platform. Because I think the Veracruz had a third row, too. I know the Borrego did. If I had to guess what was the most common vehicle up here where I live, I would have to say the Chevy Equinox. You see a Chevy Equinox. There is literally one coming at me. No way. Okay. You literally see a Chevy Equinox. There it goes. Every 2 seconds. I swear, like everybody, they just flock to the Chevy dealer. And I think the Chevy Equinox is the most generic, the most boring and lethargic vehicle ever made. I work for a company and we have one as a company car. It's a 2017. And that thing is horrible. And people just love them because it's a car. It's an SUV, it's cheap, but then they don't love them when they're in the mechanic, you know, every year. Like, it truly blows my mind how many people have a Chevy Equinox up here. The Honda Element. That vehicle is on my list of cars I want to own in my lifetime, in that color. I've always loved the Element, especially in orange, and that is definitely on my cars I have to own in my lifetime list. There's another Mariner, or is that the same Mariner? Again, drop a comment if you can name the other two versions of the Mariner. So it's literally been about a quarter of a mile since I made that comment about the Chevy Equinox, and I've literally seen 3. They're everywhere, literally everywhere. Oh, a Kia Rondo. There's a Kia Rondo. When was the last time you saw a Kia Rondo? That one's in pretty good shape too. Suspiciously good shape. There's something interesting. These two cars will never be paired up again. We got a GMC Envoy XUV. That's the one where the back would come out. And then there's the cross tour that I showed you earlier. Every time I see somebody with a Jeep Renegade, I want to get out and tell them, like, that they have a Fiat. They think they're getting a Jeep, but it's actually a Fiat. It's just funny to me. Like, I always just want to get out and be like, hey, do you like your Fiat? What? It's a Jeep. It says Jeep on it. No, you have a Fiat. You literally have a Fiat. Toyota Prius that just drove by. I have always liked the Prius. I don't like the first gen, but every generation after the first gen I like. I think they look cool. They got a lot of hate. Chevy Equinox. I just drove by and saw another GMC XUV. Tell me where else you're gonna drive and see 2 GMC XUVs in the course of 2 minutes. Only here, friends. Equinox and another Mariner. Okay, this is the 4th Mariner. I wasn't gonna film the other one because I thought I already talked about it, but Mercury Mariners are big up here too. Who would have thought? All right, folks, we are coming up to my neighborhood. I'm gonna take one little detour and just see if there's anything interesting down here. Ooh, a Jeep Gladiator. Do people still buy Jeep Gladiators? I feel like Jeep people like wanted a pickup truck so bad and then they just like don't buy them. Well, thank you guys for riding around with me today in my JDM Toyota Crown and looking for cool and interesting cars in Hurley, Wisconsin and Ironwood, Michigan. Like I mentioned, I would like to make a kind of polished version of this video where I actually have a cameraman and don't have to shoot everything myself on my iPhone here. So stay tuned for that one and we'll do it again soon.